Well, folks, there you have it. Echoes of the End. I've been itching to get at this one. I've been itching to finally get to the end of the game so I can actually tell you my thoughts on it. So Echoes of the End, essentially like a fantasy action hack and slash kind of a game, very similar to a lot of games. It shares similarities with a bunch. Mainly, I say the biggest ones that it reminded me of the most was Banishers, Ghosts of New Eden, and the Star Wars Jedi games. There are also elements of other games in there that I noticed along the way. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to go ahead and discuss what I thought based on this. Obviously going in, oh man, seriously, where do I begin? I'm going to start with what I liked about it. Okay, I think it's easier if we start with what I like about it. So first things first, I think the game does have elements to it that I think are actually quite strong in terms of, you know, I feel like some of the puzzles are actually quite well done. Some of the movement is actually quite well done. I will say as well that, you know, when you're doing some of these things, like, for example, the sliding puzzle where you had to use momentum to swing yourself, little elements like that, they're kind of like diamonds in the rough, if you will. So there's little things that are like, oh, this is really neat. I like how this looks. Visually, the game does look good. If you actually stop and look at the terrain, you can tell it's like one of those games that has really good, like, Unreal 5, like, it utilizes what's good about Unreal 5 and allows us to have these beautiful terrains with lots of detail in them. Now, unfortunately, aside from that, and maybe the occasional fun moment, you know, boss fight here and there, sometimes they were a little bit fun. The thing is, I'm not going to lie to you, that's more or less, from what I can think off the top of my head, where the things I liked about it stop. So, now, after only being a few seconds into it, let's talk about what I didn't like about the game. Well, unfortunately, there is quite a lot more things that I did not like than I did. First things first, let's just talk about how the fact that this game, while I think it's fine to get influence from other games and other media and turn it into, and use that to create your own work of art, I think that's important to do, and I don't think we'd have a lot of the content we would today without an influential game of some sort, which makes people go, I want to make something sort of like that, but obviously not exactly the same. I think what this game does wrong is it takes too many elements from other games and literally just uses them to the point where it's not dissimilar enough. Like I said earlier along the way, is I feel like this is one of those games that makes you feel like, hey, you can look at my homework, but don't look like I copied you, and then that's what happens. That's basically what they did. So I felt like there was a lot of similarities to other games to the point where it's like too similar, and it's like there's not a whole lot here to differentiate it from other games. The problem is when you're doing all these different mismatches of different games as you go along the way, it doesn't really get its own identity. Does that make sense? Because you're kind of borrowing elements, and it's strong amounts of elements from different games, it does feel like you know, we're just kind of along for the ride at this point, and it's just like, it just seems like we're playing a game. Does that make sense? You're not really experiencing something great and phenomenal and memorable. It just feels like something that is relatively average. Like, I feel like it's almost like they were trying to play it safe with this one, because let's look at this, guys. What does this game really do in terms of all these elements that make a good story? Like, I don't know about you guys, but I thought the story was exceptionally boring and long-winded. There was really not a whole lot to it that I particularly enjoyed. I feel like I've seen this thing before. Guys in power, you know, it turns out they're related to one of the characters, or one of the, you know, supporting role characters, or they know of them, and there's hidden meaning. Oh, big shock, I've seen that before. Obviously, it wasn't enough to keep my attention. Honestly, the storyline, while I understood what was happening for the most part, there was a lot of detail and lore that I just did not feel interested in learning. Like, even along the way, I picked up collectibles. I didn't look at any of them because I'm like, to be honest, this type of lore and this type of like what they're feeding me is not an exciting thing, and I don't want to know more. And it's not even particularly the genre. I'm not usually into fantasy type games, but I will play fantasy games, and sometimes they're really, really fucking good. But unfortunately, this one just does not give you something interesting along the way. The characters seem a little copy paste. Like I said, I swear our main character was essentially like Rin. I swear was like a mishmash of let's see, the girl from well, you like female, what's her name? Female, the female lead in, like, if you chose the female version of, what's her name in, Assassin's Creed, Valhalla, you know what I mean? Like, it felt like a mix of her mixed with the lead character of Forspoken, mixed with I don't even know what else, but like I feel like I've seen that mixed with the lead from Banishers. You know, it's all just feels like, yeah, Eivor, yeah, thank you, sorry, all these different characters mixed together, and to make this kind of like, you know, I don't know, run down simplified version, it's kind of like Great Value brand of those characters. You know, it's like someone tried to take it, and like I said, she's got a really kind of lame personality. I don't know about you guys, but I felt like her personality was super lame, and I don't think there was anything really positive about it. Like, she seemed really angry all the time, and things that she said, like, she seemed like she was overacting all the time, like the voice actor was overacting, which leads me to the point that there was some of the worst delivered lines in a video game I've seen in a long time. Like, despite poor writing, I feel like good voice actors can overcome poor writing and make a line of dialogue very, very strong. Unfortunately, they didn't really have very good voice actors. I mean, I'd say the strongest voice actor was probably for our number two's character. Sorry, I'm already forgetting his name. That's what I'm saying. I'm already forgetting it. He was probably the strongest, but the rest of the characters were overdoing it every chance they could. And it's almost like, bro, can you pretend you're not acting and just try to deliver something more believable? But honestly, probably the worst delivery of, like, so many, like, I can't even tell you how many times it happened where I'm like, why is she saying it that way? Like, either it was such a small, minor thing, and she was saying it with such anger and gritted teeth, but it's almost like, I'm letting you know that I want you to know that I'm angsty. And that's basically the kind of like response I'm getting out of it. It's like, I want you to, you felt like a teenager, but a teenager is at least more believable. This just felt like I'm pretending to be an angsty teenager. That's the vibe I got from our main character, from Rin. So it's like, I mean, not only that, I mean, I don't get me wrong. I'm sure if the dialogue was better written, we would have had a much better time, or a much better chance at really understand, or at really enjoying the ride. But the writing was not very well done. I feel like the lines of dialogue felt really generic, and they were playing it safe, but it just felt out of touch, and it didn't suit the genre at all. I just think they were just trying to be a little bit edgy, but also keep it a little bit PG at times, like kind of like PG-13-ish with some mild swearing here and there. So I don't know, it just didn't work, man. I'm sorry, this game was just far too bland and generic to really make me feel anything. It didn't. Honestly, this is going to be one of those games that we're going to forget about, and then years down the line there'll be something that reminds me of it, and I'll be like, what? And I'll do what I do with all the games that kind of we play and we forget about, is you know, oh, what was the name of that game? You know, it might pop up because that's the way my brain works, but I promise you this is not going to be memorable. And it sounded like they were setting up a sequel. I really don't think they should set up anything. I think they should literally make like their game and give it the end, echoes of the end, and just say echoes, the end. That's it. We're done here, because I don't think this is going to do that well. Mind you, I will say that it is on the cheaper end in terms of a new game. And you get a roughly, I mean, it took me a little over 12 hours to beat this, I'd say. Maybe about 12 hours. I could have taken way less time. I probably could have, I was probably on the faster side because I didn't really stop and smell as many roses, but they're saying this will take you 25 hours to complete. I fucking doubt it, man. I don't care if you're playing on the hardest difficulty. I don't care if you're playing, you're getting every single collectible. I really don't care if you're doing that. You're not taking 25 hours to beat this. I promise you. It's a bit misleading when they're talking about there's side content and stuff. There is not side content. Yes, there's areas to explore to get like a pickup. I don't count that as side content. There is a mission, a main mission, and you just go along it from chapter to chapter, and that is it. And there are no new game pluses, so the only way you can fully upgrade your character is if you go into new game, if you just start a new game, and hopefully you find everything along the way and just fight everybody, get the best amount of experience you can for that particular moment. So all things considered, I think it's just not really worth it. And even if you do drop the price of this game, it's still one of those ones. It's like, yeah, okay, let's say you drop it by 50%, it's $20 US. You might find some value in that. Maybe you will. I can see some people might enjoy this game, but I personally didn't. I think there are way better games out for $40, the original price, and $20. There's so much better games for your money than that, and I just think there's no real need to buy this one. I don't really see a benefit. Maybe if it's free, but even then, it's like saying, why would you watch like a C-list movie just because it's on one of your streaming sites that you already pay for? Like, say it's on Netflix or Prime or something like that, and it's like just a movie that's there, but it's a really, really shitty movie. just because you can buy it or can watch it and it's included with your subscription or whatever, doesn't mean you're going to or enjoy yourself. It's like your time is going to be better suited for other things. Now, I know it might seem like I'm being pretty harsh on this game. I usually am a little more harsh with games that are biting off more than not biting off more than they can chew, but riding the wave of mediocrity, as I say. I can tell this game was never really intended to be an amazing game, but I felt like they tried. They would have been better off if they made it smaller and just completely went in a different direction with this. I think they could have kept the genre and they kept the style, but I think they should have just refined it a little bit more. Like, I mean, like, what, instead of like borrowing so many elements, like I said, like there were even moments where it was like God of War, like the newer God of War games. It felt very similar. Like, this is definitely lifted just from it. Like, I swear, it's like they're not even trying to hide it at this point. So while I am frustrated at how average this game is and how it's going to be forgettable and things, I don't really think it's going to be, I don't think it's like the worst game I've ever played. I want that to be clear. It's definitely not the worst game I've ever played. Let's just summarize right now what I think of it. So obviously, despite having really nice looking visuals, unfortunately, I forgot to mention as well, it has the good visuals. When it works, it's got some moments to it that are interesting. Like I said, the puzzles, the movement is kind of satisfying with certain areas, the double jumping and things like that. It does feel quite well. But like I said, on the other end of it, there's a lot of empty space. The characters are generic. The lines are really poorly, like poor voice acting, poor writing. It just feels like your average run-of-the-mill story that is not going to really break any records or awards or any. It's not going to do anything, and you're going to forget about it, and it's just going to fade into in obscurity. And I just don't think there's really any reason to purchase a game like this. Well, like I said, it's not the worst game in the world. It definitely is almost worse for being this mediocre, because it's like, well, there's nothing really good or bad to really make you, like, sometimes you play bad games just to see how bad they are. It's almost like an interesting thing, it's kind of like cult films are really bad, they're good, you know what I mean? There's none of that here, and there's just nothing really good or bad enough about the game to make you want to be like, I'm interested to see where that's going to go. You're going to be more annoyed with this game than anything else, and again, maybe I'm being a little harsh on it, but I think that's just what it is, It's not going to be memorable. And I think that's one of the worst things, is if you can just make a game for the sake of making a game and just borrowing elements and be like, I'm going to make a game. You can't just come in here because you think you box. Hey, he knows I can box. No, you can't. Sit down. Eat your tuna, no crust. Sit down. But either way, based on all these factors, like I said, there's really nothing else I could say about it that really would make it any better or worse, for that matter. Like, I mean, I feel like there are things that some people might play through this game and absolutely adore this, but I mean, like, there are people who would love this, but I'm just not one of them, and I've just got to be honest when it comes to it, and I just think like I said, there are way better products for your money than something like this. So I guess with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and give this game a review, or a rating rather. So out of 10, I have decided, originally I was going to give it a tiny bit higher than this, but as we went towards the end and I started getting more and more bored and annoyed with it, it dropped it half a point. So my score is going to be a 4 out of 10. So it's not, like I said, it's not the worst game in the world. It's definitely below average. It's closer to the lower end of the spectrum than anything else. Again, it's a game that generally works, but obviously not being optimized. I gave it a bit of a pass for not being optimized, because, again, that is going to be, it'll probably be fixed over time, but as of now, that is another thing to mention, the unoptimization, the fact that I had to play it on ultra performance when it's not really that demanding, and it shouldn't be this demanding. There's a lot of bloat going on with Unreal 5 jank, so that's another downfall too, is it doesn't run that well. So another reason it gets there. But 4 out of 10, again, I played way worse games than this, but I just think it's more on the mediocre side. It's not, like I said, the worst game in the world, but it does slide below that midway mark. A 5 out of 10 for me is an average game where it does like just as much good as it does bad. This game does more bad than it does good. Like I said, there's a couple things that shine through, but for the most part, this is one of those games that, like, you're just I just don't even see a point to playing it. I played it because I thought it might look cool, but I was worried it was going to be like an average generic game, and wouldn't you know, it was. So there you have it. And those are my thoughts on it. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this series regardless. If you did, be sure to leave a like, comment your thoughts below, And don't forget to subscribe if you're new. Turn on those post notifications with the bell icon so you don't miss anything I put out here on the channel. Be sure to follow my socials, Facebook, X, Instagram, Snapchat, Discord. Those are linked in the description. If you want to get yourself a shirt or hoodie of mine, there's a link in the description. Also an embedded feature right below the stream/video that shows a preview of some items you can get. Ultimately, just go to the website for the full range of products and customization options there. Big shout out to all the sponsors, DX Racer, Bones Coffee, The Ridge Wallet, Mad Rabbit Tattoo. I use their products every single day. Check them out for yourselves with the links in the description. Be sure to use my promo code DanQ8000 to save at checkout. If you guys want to send something to my P.O. box, there is an address listed in the description. Check it out. Send something my way if you like. If you do send something, anything that I get sent there gets opened in a social post or a live stream, depending what makes more sense for whatever's sent. Finally, guys, be sure to check out and sign up for the Team 8000 membership program if you haven't done so yet. It supports the page immensely. There's 4 different tier levels with 4 price points. The first tier is just 99 cents. It's really cheap and easy to get into the program that way. However, across all those tiers, you'll get things like custom badges by your name, custom emojis used in chat, exclusive video and stream access, priority and open lobbies, giveaways, discounts, and plenty more. We are working our way up back towards, well, we're heading towards 400 at this point. We're in the 360s for members. We've been doing great, having a great member streak, so I'm really psyched that we are where we are. If you guys want to help us keep going, though, support the channel in the process while you're getting some cool perks, you can join that with the link in the description. This is join button below the stream. Also a section on my main channel page as well. If you guys want to gift members or send super chats or super thanks, you can do those with that $sign icon. See that, give it a click. You'll be able to gift anywhere from 1 to 50 members if you're gifting members. If you are gifting, though, just keep in mind you can do 1 to 50 at a single transaction. Ultimately, though, you can get as many as you want through multiple transactions. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and hopefully we catch you in the next one. All right, we'll see you then. Take care. Peace.
Who's the man with the plan? If you feel trouble wildin' wild on these violent and hit you 8,000. Wait a minute, hold that style is dialed in. Goddamn Billy Jack, we still riding tires flat. I hear them sirens, see shots flying, so we driving fire back. If they ain't vibing, lie with that. Got me dressed up in all black. What up? Hood up, and I see them haters try to run with us. They gon' need inhalers. Gotta breathe them hard just like Darth Vader. Players, grab your respirators. Night invaders get lightsabered. Mask on for the shooters. Move like trash to bed intruder. Got that Glock and got them woofers. Just press play, I'll keep it moving. Who is not? Still you damn fools. Keep it fresh like canned food. There ain't nothing we can't do, so tune into that damn Q. Yeah. It was never, ever a game.